Good day, viewers. It's your favorite presenter, Ibrahim Aishad from TSOEDE TV, Patigi, Kwara State. In the house with me today, I have prominent engineer. So I would like you to introduce yourself to the viewers.
Welcome. My names are Engineer Gana Sunday, Bature Ngona of Emir of Patigi, Baganroji.
Before we dive into today's program, I would like to outline the content of today's topic: community conflict, cause of community conflict, negative effects of community conflicts, step taken in resolving community conflicts by the community elders and governments. Yeah. Sir, I would like you to explain to us community conflict. What is community conflict, sir?
Thank you very much. The word conflict we have to define. So I will now define conflict as reference to dispute, disagreement, or clashes between individuals, groups, or organizations within a community, often arising from differences in interest, values, beliefs, presence, and power dynamics. That is the word conflict defines.
Thanks for the definition, sir.
Okay.
What might be the causes of community conflict in our society, sir?
Now, the word society itself has to be defined for you understanding fully what community is. Community could be either one ethnic or more than. What I mean by this is, in some communities you have more than 3-4 dialects comprises of that communities. And with that, you should know they have different cultural backgrounds, despite they are in the same communities. So those are what community is. Now, conflict is disagreement, is dispute. And when you hear disagreement, individual has interest. Like, just let me cite an example to you. Husband and wife, if they don't have the same interest, the same goal in the house, you find that we have differences in the house. The children might be dancing towards the mother's side. The children might sometimes take side to the father's side because they don't speak in the same voice. And later that will result to what we call conflict. You understand? Yes. So those are the causes of conflict now. Number one could be population. If the society is overpopulated, it causes conflict. 2, cultural background. I'm a very short man. You are a very tall somebody. And we want to discuss on the same goal. If we don't come together and align, you find that we have conflict. Education. One society is more educated than the other. Depression might be there because you will feel, yeah, I'm educated, you are not educated. So you will take that chance to in fact, conquer you or carry you to anywhere, which will bring about conflict. You understand? Money, which is the root of what? The whole things you can think of. It could happen. Favorism causes conflict. You understand? Favorism in the sense the heads might decide to favor one part than the other. It causes conflict. Messengers, I mean, this point is we have, let me define take Patigi as a study, visibility studies now. We have Pada district, we have Patigi district, we have Lade district, governed by this one emir. But at the same time, we have a BAS, that is the district head of leaders. At the same time again, in their underneath, we have what we call the Etriempas. Etriempa at the same time is also a head to the village heads. And if they don't speak in the same voice, you have what we call conflict. Yes, because the Echwenkpa will say is the boss, and boss is always right. He might give order to Ndaitu. Ndaitu may decide not to follow. Now, if they now disagreed, conflict has come. It's now the emir that will solve that problem to them. So those are the things that causes conflict in society.
Thanks for your explanation, sir. We appreciate you. What are the negative effects of community conflict?
Thank you very much. When you hear the word negative, you'll be talking of the bad aspect of that thing you are bringing up. But now the question says the negative effects of community conflicts are: 1, social cohesion erosion, emotional disgrace, decreased sense of belonging. They will not be together again. And what is sense of belonging? I bring my own idea, you bring your own idea. Now two heads cannot what? Cannot go wrong sometimes. Those are the adage. So by the time you bring a very fine idea, I now contributed also a very good idea. We are now dancing towards the same goal to achieve certain things in our community, or to tell government that this is what community A needs, this is what community B needs. So we can now tender our request to the above government parastata to achieve a very fine thing in our society or community. Now, physical harms or violent. You see, by the time you did not agree with my points, I did not agree with your points, everybody will now will now separate on his own, and we cannot speak in the same voice, going to our heads like the emir. Okay, emir, we need a boss in our department. Another person now will go say, no, emir, don't give them. It's not necessary. We don't speak in the same voice. Everybody now will go on his own. It created a very big thing, and that community will not grow very fine. Those are the little hinges in conflict in society or organization or as individual. They will not move ahead. You see? Like international fragment. This means no any society, like in Nigeria now, we've been preaching that they should, we make a line with China. They will go to another Kenya for agricultural setup. If there is if there is conflict within us, we cannot achieve anything with that. No any China will come. If they know Nigeria, their society that doesn't accommodate strangers, they will not come. And even though they can't invest their money in any developmental project. So those are the little things that brings about negative impact to conflict in the society.
Thanks for your explanation, sir. Step taken in resolving community conflict by the community elders and government.
Yes, the step taken in resolving community conflicts by government, elders, and government could be as follows. 1, identify and acknowledge the conflict. You must know about the conflict in that society before. Is it the government that will solve it? Is it the elders that will solve it? Take example of Saragi and Share. We call that place a buffalo land, like Modakeke and Ofa. The individual heads cannot solve it. Now federal government will now come in. They now cited that's a school of naval training center there. So it doesn't belong to Modakeke nor Ofa. people. You understand now? So that is what I mean by identify and acknowledge the conflict. You must know what you want to solve first. Is it the government that will come in? Is it the elders that will come in? That is one. Establish a neutral third party. Is A and B now has a conflict? Both of them cannot solve it. That is why we now go ahead, establish another third party that will come in between, so that we have easy solving problem of that conflict. You understand? Now, other informations and representatives, you need to gather informations. Before some conflict could be solved, you need to gather information from both parties. You just don't hear one party saying, no, that place I own it, and it's our forefathers that gave me that portion. No, you cannot judge. The emir cannot judge in that way. He has to hear from party A, go to party B, hear their own view. Now he cannot come in and resolve them amicably. Yes. So, monitor progress and evaluate. You have to monitor them. And what is even progress they want. And evaluation means you weigh the both things. If you don't monitor something, there is tendency of the both party to go astray. There is tendency for one party to go astray because he did not monitor what they are doing. If the emir doesn't monitor what his subjects are doing sometimes, or gathering information from his subordinate, that is the Egbas, the Etrienpas, the Itus of all these our small villages, he cannot judge the conflict within them. You understand now? So, foster incoming communication and collaboration. Communication is very important. Without communication, you know, in some society, what brings conflict is language barrier. Like in Nupe land, we have Nupe of Chekwan, we have Nupe of Ebangi, we have Kupa. Despite we all can speak in Nupe, but we have norms and culture of all these areas I've mentioned now. So everybody now has to be communication should be our first thing we look into. If we understand our communication, like Nupe man and Fulani, Nupe man doesn't understand Fulani. Fulani man cannot speak Nupe fluently. Even if he knows how to speak Nupe fluently, he now pretend that he doesn't know what is happening. So by the time you find out Fulani man approaching our farms in far distance, we throw abusive words to them. No, I'm quoting what actually is happening. Assuming they understand their communication languages, there should be no fight within both parties. So that is why I use that evaluate. You have to look at the communication processes. So those are and build trust and a relationship. Build trust and a relationship. This means those your representatives in each community, you must have trust. It's just like husband and wife. If the husband has trust in his wife, even if he traveled from here to Lagos 1 year and you have trust in your wife, you will never complain or fight or even give any wrong dimensional thing that is doing on her. But if you don't have trust in me, you are sending to Ilorin to buy you something, you may say that thing cannot cost up to 300 naira, and you gave me 500 naira. I will return the rest money to you. But if there is no trust, things will scattered. So those are the step taking. So you must trust somebody. Select and implement a solution. Select the way you are to settle them and implement a solution. Solution is the final finishing touch you do to a conflict. Which type of method do I use now in settling these people? Is it with hot hand or soft? So it's now depend on the level or gravity of that conflict. Okay, when the emir found out, even the Ndeji or some of his subjects can solve, okay, go to Ndeji and go and take care of that problem. He will solve it for you. So that is the meaning of select and implement a solution. So those are the things you, and define the issues and goal. Define the issues and goal. Do you understand the word goal? Goal means their aim, collectively, the villagers, their aim of certain things. You must understand that issue first. So those are the steps taken in solving community conflicts.
Thanks for explanation.
Yes,
sir. Really
yes,
appreciate
yes.
it. What are the advantages of creating community boundaries, sir?
The advantage of creating community boundaries includes the following: clear expectation. Clearing of what? Expectation. What this means is, expectation means everybody's mind will be clear that this is my demarcation, this is my wall between this house and my own. You've known already, you have boundary adjustment. So you will know which is yours, which is not. That is why we create community boundaries. We have international community boundaries, we have local community boundaries, we have state community boundaries. So, 2, increase safety. It increases safety. You know your boundary, I know my boundary. 3, improve communication. It improves communication. Like we are in Kwara State, we have common boundary with 2-3 states. Kogi, Niger, and Kwara, we have those boundary creating there already. Because, let me cite an example. Kogi was created from Kwara State. Niger State was created from Sokoto State. Adamawa was carved out from Kano State. So they have, everybody knows his boundary. That is it. We have national boundary. We have, like Nigeria and Niger, they have boundary. And the usefulness of creating that community boundaries are numerous. They are numerous. Now, I now say conflict resolution, so that we don't enter into our individual jurisdiction. That is why community boundary is created. Mr. A, you don't trespass to another man's land. That is why boundary is there. Aha. So, protection of resources. In all communities, we have, each community has its own resources. Like in Patigi local government, you'll be hearing of a village called Kakafu. You'll be hearing village calling a Kati. You'll be hearing village called Gere. They have these precious stones that each locality is owing. Like in Kakafu, they have what we call Mogalin and Moga. They have also Beirut. They have Tenterline. These are precious stones. So without creating community boundary, Kakafu will now pretend he owns every resources there, whereby it's not only the community there, it's owned by all those villages I mentioned, like Ekati has his own, Kakafu has his own, and Bologi has his own. Without this creating of community boundaries, things will now jam together. Individual now will enter into another man's field, and he said he's the one who owns it. So adaptation and growth. You understand the word adaptability. That is, you are trained, you are brought up from that community. You will be adapt to that community. And growth, you growth there. So those are the advantages of creating community boundaries, not conflict, community boundaries. Advantages of boundary demarcation here is reduced tension. It reduces tension. What is tension? Stress. It reduces stress of headers talking of the same topic every day, settling the same conflicts the same day. If the place is well demarcated, there should have not been a matter of entering to cases every day. 2, economic benefits. Economic benefit. You find out that at maybe Jeba before, is we in Kwara State and Niger State, we have what we call toll gate. It brings about economics benefit. They generated money there. Like Lagos, when you are getting to Lagos, and is it Ibadan? They have toll gate there, controlled by different communities. Like even, let me cite our own example. We have our common boundary at Wadata and Kokodo. You will find out they build one small office there, which the product officers are. They collected money for each bags, any trunk carrying to another community. So it brings about economic benefit. It also serves as historical presentation. Historical presentation. That is, this is where the demarcation is. Advantage of boundary. Yes. And in demarcation, locally we have many things we use in demarcating our lands, which now we felt they don't work again, like planting of trees. We use trees those days to demarcate. But eventually trees are living things. They can either cut them or natural death could come to them. So we don't need to use trees again. We use hills, mountains. But now you find out they now excavate them for mineral resources. We don't use them again geographically. So, but it serves as historical presentation to the both communities. This is my boundary, that is your boundary, so that everybody will know his boundary. And for future reference to the new generations, because they will come and meet that demarcation. So those are the effect. Resources management. Boundary demarcation brings about effect resources management. You know where you have your thick forest for timber and for maybe anything you can think of. You cut and fell and sell to the timber shade, or you cut and fell for producing plank for your own usage in like building houses. So those are the effects. Resources management. Enhance security. It enhances security. So boundary demarcation enhance security. Produce relationship. It produce relationship. Yes. Dispute prevention. You don't allow dispute to occur because already the land has been demarcated. So without being demarcated, we enter into dispute every day. Clashes like we heard of what happens 4 days ago at Lema and Ndeji. Almost 3 lives went away. And there are still some people in hospitals now. So those are the reasons we have to do boundary demarcation.
Thanks for your time, sir. We really appreciate you.
Thanks.
We have come to end of today's program. Do join us next time. Stay tuned. Bye.